In today's video, I'd like to take a look at the circle of fifths and really try to give you an understanding, sort of a 10,000 foot view of what the circle of fifths is. We, as musicians, oftentimes we hear about the circle of fifths. Oh, the circle of fifths, it's so important. You got to memorize the circle of fifths. And I really wanted to take a moment and really kind of discuss what is this all about. So let's get started. Well, to me, the circle of fifths, number one, really represents that this is really, more than anything else, a scale organizer. So just in the same way that you might have an organizer for your shoes or you organize your closet, it just makes sense functionally, right? It makes sense that I know where my shoes are at. I can get to the things that I need to get to when I need to get to them. That's the same thing that this is for musicians. If I don't have it, then I have a hard time of memorizing, well, what has 3 sharps and 5 sharps and 2 flats and 4 flats? And I have a hard time with that. So it's simply a scale organizer. I wouldn't put too much effort into memorizing it unless you're a very, very serious musician, and generally it'll just sort of come just naturally. Okay, now the second thing is that it helps you to see, patterns. And you may have heard me discuss about this before, but pattern recognition in music is huge. It's such a massive thing in music. If you can recognize patterns, and not just in music, really, in mathematics and physics and whatnot, these are some of how the greatest discoveries of mankind have been made. We just simply recognize patterns. We started to see something. There's really no difference here in the circle of fifths. So what we want to do with the circle of fifths, we want to just sort of kind of get some brief understanding. And what I'm going to do is start by subdividing this circle of fifths into 2 equal halves of a circle. And I'm going to start this half up here at C major. And what happens is on the right side of the circle of fifths, we're going to call the right side the dominant keys. These are the dominant keys. And on the left side, we're going to call these the subdominant keys. The subdominant keys. Okay, and the circle of fifths doesn't actually go all the way around, and so what we actually end up doing is we do something like this. It originates at C and it goes around the circle, sort of goes around the circle this way until it terminates down here at the bottom. And then we can start again from the left side, and these are all the subdominant keys, and it originates here on the left, and it goes all the way around until once again it terminates right here in the same spot down at the bottom. So it is not in really a full circle, it's just 2 half circles. It's the right half and the left half. Now the subdominant keys really represent key signatures that utilize sharps for alterations. The subdominant keys, so dominant keys are sharps, subdominants are going to be flats. And so what are some examples? Well, let's say if we had like the key of G major would be part of the dominant keys because that uses sharps, or if we had something like F major would be the subdominant keys because it uses flats. And it's really just about helping us see patterns. Now the key of C major, this particular one, doesn't really fit either in subdominant or dominant just because it has all naturals. There's no sharps or flats in that particular one. You could classify it as subdominant, you could classify it as dominant, and then at that point you could really classify it as neither. In a sense, it's sort of like both and nothing at the same time. So I wouldn't worry too much about the classification system about that. I would just simply really respect the fact that C major is really where we have to start the origin. It's really where we start this circle of fifths idea. In future videos, we are going to really look at the circle of fifths and kind of draw it out so we can really see what's going on here. We've sort of done this before with some of our derivations and understanding the subdominant and dominant keys, but now let's actually put it into perspective. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you've really enjoyed what you've seen so far, please just go ahead and click that subscribe button for me. It'll help keep us going so we can put out more great content for you.